In this video, I am going to clarify a few misconceptions regarding Forex robots and automated trading in general. The reason for this is that there is an enormous amount of misinformation on the internet about how automated trading works. First of all, we should understand the reason automated trading appeared in the first place. The main motivation behind automated trading is to eliminate the cognitive biases that are inherent to the human mind. In this picture you can see how many biases we have. Each and every one of these biases modulate the way we see and interpret the world. It turns out that many of these biases seem to get in our way when we trade because the brain functions in a weird way when we deal with economic decisions that involve risk and time simultaneously. The problem is that these biases are a byproduct of more than 200,000 years of evolution, and they are not necessarily geared towards trading. In fact, many of them will get in our way as traders. It is also hard to get rid of these biases because they are second nature to us, and we need them for the most basic activities in life like learning and memory articulation. With that said, the main driver behind the rise of automated trading is the complete elimination of cognitive biases because computer programs are completely free of them. However, computer programs don't have the analytical power and learning ability of the human brain, and this is its deadly disadvantage. This is where the whole conversation about artificial intelligence begins. It is true that artificial intelligence can produce computer programs that are smarter than the human brain, but that can only happen in a few very limited domains. The financial markets seem to not be one of them for a few different reasons. Consider that there are two types of computer programs. The statically programmed algorithms, which are rule-based systems, and the artificially intelligent programs, which have some degree of nonlinearity attached to them, so they can learn to a limited degree. 99.9% of the Forex robots you see out there are statically programmed, meaning that they operate under a set of rules designed by a programmer. Here lies the heart of the problem. The financial markets are an incredibly dynamic system, and it changes all the time with a good degree of temporal unpredictability. Expecting a rigid rule-based system to work in an ever-changing system like the markets is just not reasonable, and it is doomed to fail every time. Among the artificially intelligent systems, we have two subcategories. The algorithms that function under the narrow intelligence paradigm, and the systems that function under the general intelligence paradigm. The first is where all the current artificial intelligence programs work. The second just exists in theory. A narrow intelligence is superhuman in one very specific domain, but it is useless in all other domains. For example, today we have a chess-playing computer that can beat the best human chess player in the world. However, this chess-playing artificial intelligence cannot even begin to play any other game beyond chess. The human chess player not only can play chess very well, but he can play many other complex games with a reasonable degree of excellence. In this case, the chess-playing robot has a narrow intelligence while the human chess player has a biological general intelligence. Another way to look at this is that the artificial narrow intelligence is superhuman in one very specific domain and completely useless in every other domain. The biological general intelligence, like the human brain, can learn how to play a series of complex games reasonably well, but it has its limitations like the cognitive biases, the fact that it gets tired, and the rather slow processing speed. An artificial general intelligence would be the combination of the best of both worlds. In other words, the incredibly powerful processing speed and superhuman learning ability, but on a wide variety of topics. All of that without any cognitive biases and without getting tired. That's obviously having it both ways. This is why an artificial general intelligence is still a hypothetical possibility instead of a reality like the artificial narrow intelligence. At this point you might be wondering that an artificial narrow intelligence is the best choice for a Forex robot. It certainly seems that way in theory, but in reality, things are a little bit more complicated than that. Despite the fact that artificially intelligent systems can find nonlinear patterns in certain types of data, the price charts provide limited data for the type of pattern seeking an artificially intelligent system would require. Beyond that, an artificially intelligent system cannot make subjective judgments about the intention behind price bars like a seasoned trader can. This type of market analysis is just in another level that only humans can really do it. However, the biggest problem lies in the starting point of the narrow intelligent system. For example, before an artificially intelligent system can run and try to find nonlinear patterns in data, it requires that somebody feeds it with the correct amount of data. Unlike the game of chess, the rules of how price works are not fully understood, so a computer program has no way of understanding the game without understanding its rules first. We can look at this whole situation under the light of something called the Bonini's paradox, which claims that a complex system like the financial market cannot be reduced to a rule-based system or formula because that formula would become less understandable as it became more complete. It's a paradox, of course, because the formula should become more understandable as it became more complete. The Bonini's paradox is the reason all statically programmed Forex robots become obsolete before their programmers even finish compiling it. The use of artificial narrow intelligence sort of bypasses the Bonini's paradox, but it cannot bypass the problem of feeding the correct type of data into the program. The bottom line is that no statically programmed robot nor narrow intelligent robot is capable of subjective judgment, which is a paramount and absolute necessity for anyone who intends to be successful in the markets. It's also funny to realize that artificial intelligence techniques like deep neural networks and genetic programming are all based on how the neurons in the human brain work or how the process of natural evolution renders better and better versions of organisms over time. Instead of trying to build an artificial neural network, traders should use the one they already have inside their heads, which is the only neural net capable of general intelligence. It sure has its disadvantages like cognitive biases and limited processing power, but it's still the only choice if you want to be a successful trader. The bottom line is that Forex robots are a complete waste of time. My advice to you is to ignore them and focus on learning how to trade like many have successfully done over the years. If you liked this video, help supporting our channel by subscribing and leaving your feedback below the video. I hope you have learned something useful. Thank you for watching.